All right, and then so I'm gonna take it out, and I'm gonna uninstall the spring real quick, and then we're gonna throw it back on, and we're gonna test the travel and like the geometry, like how everything moves and stuff, to see what the clearance is. But it looks good. All right, here's me out. All right, here we go, guys. There it is. I installed it back in there. You can see the red spring is no longer on there, okay? So I'm gonna go move it all the way up at the top of its stroke, okay? So you guys will see what the full stroke is. Okay, so that's all the way on the bottom, okay? We do the same with this stroke. So one good thing to do right now is to measure the travel. So what I'll probably do is get a ruler and measure the travel from here to here, because like with the spring on there, it's just gonna move the whole bike, okay? Now the spring's not on there, so it'll move up. It'll just move, okay? So there it is. And I'm gonna move it up until I get to the bumper. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm jacking up the tire, and it's lifting the swing arm, okay? Okay, until it gets to the bumper. Oh, it's as high as I can make it. Hold on, let me get another jack. Okay, guys. So I've got a bigger jack now, so I think I can get it higher. I'm trying to get this to move through the whole stroke until it gets to the bumper, and then we're gonna measure the travel. Okay, so there we go. It's going up. Going up. It's on going. Boom. Okay, it's bottomed out now. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of movement. All right, so you can see. Let me take this off here now. You can see it moved quite a bit. This is the first time I've ever done this on a bike. I would be scared to do this on like a heavier bike, like the DR650. But yeah, so there you go. So you can see that the bump stop is doing its job right there. Okay, so it's fully bottomed out, and that's as far as it's gonna go. All right, and we've got plenty of clearance. Okay, we've got about a little more than 2 fingers clearance to the fender. Okay, there's plenty of clearance to the muffler. Okay, any other things? The shock. Okay, so like I told you, when it goes through its stroke, the shock is actually going to move back a little bit. So you can see the gap here is a lot more. Okay, so that's perfect, man. It's great. I'm really happy. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from the axle. Yeah, I'm going to measure from the axle to the fender, and then I'll know what that is, and then we'll subtract it from when it's fully rebounded. Okay, so I will measure it from the bottom. How about this? I'm going to measure it from the bottom of the axle to the fender here, right where I have this cutout here. Okay, and then that way I can measure the total travel of the swing arm. Okay, and then yeah, so pretty cool. But yeah, as you can see, everything fits. It will not hit anything when it bottoms out. Okay, now if your bumper wasn't there, then yeah, it's probably going to move an extra 1.5 inches or something, and it may hit this. Okay, but that's to protect the shock. That's to keep the shock from bottoming out too. So you don't want that. So okay, so I'm going to go take that measurement and write it down. Okay, here we go. So from here to here, this is exactly 12.5 inches, okay? 12.5 inches. I'm gonna write it down. So I wrote it down, and then now I'm going to let the jack down. It's good. It's got some dampening, but we haven't even put the thing in it yet. So okay. All right, so now what we're going to want to do is take the same measurement again. Okay, now we got almost, just a shy, I know this is shy of 20.5. Okay, it's almost 20.5, not quite. I'm going to put 20.45, okay? 20.45 inches. Okay, so here's the calculations. I mean, here's the measurements. So the compression, fully compressed, it's 12.5 inches, and fully rebounded is 20.45 inches. So if I subtract those two, I should get the travel. Okay, so there it is. That's 20.45 minus 12.5 is 7.95. So basically 8 inches of travel, okay? So we got 8 inches of travel out of this. I don't know, I don't know if that's makes a difference in the height. Like, so one thing we should have done is we should have done the same measurement before with the old shock, okay? So we could see the difference. But that we know how much travel we have. We have 8 inches of travel. I will go look up what the KLX140L has for travel. Since this shock has more travel, this shock does actually have more travel, so we should get more travel out of it, okay? So I will go look that up. Okay, guys, so congratulations. We gained about 1 inch of travel, so there you go. Oh, that's the front. Oh, it's the same. The front and the rear are the same travel. That's interesting. I don't really know what the travel in the front is. I never checked. One of these days, we could probably do it if we take the springs out of the front shocks and then put it together. The front forks, I mean. So it's 7.09 inches of travel. Okay, so we're at 8 inches. So by doing this modification, okay, by installing the KX100 shock and flipping the linkage, it gained us 1 inch of travel. Okay, we got an extra inch of travel. At 8 inches, still doesn't sound like a lot, like compared to the DR650. I think the DR650 is like 10 inches or something. So yeah, but hey, it's plenty on a little bike like this, is what I'm gonna say. Okay, so 8 inches of travel is the specs for KX100. It's a KLX140 with a KX100 shock and with the linkage flipped. Okay, so I think flipping the linkage probably helps the most, is what I want to say. It's the one that's going to give you the most travel. Okay, all right, so that's it. We're done. I'm gonna take the shock back off, and then we're gonna put the spring on it, and then I gotta go put nitrogen in it tomorrow. Okay, so right now it doesn't have any nitrogen in it, so it's not ready to go back on the bike quite yet. Okay, all right, that's it. We're done modifying the KLX140 to accept the KX100 shock. Mission complete. We're 95% there. All I gotta do is fill up the rear shock, or the shock, just fill up the shock absorber with nitrogen to 142 psi. And then put the bike back together, and we're done. Okay. So all the hard stuff is done. That's all I want to say. It's just putting the bike back together again. All right. Thanks for watching. Hayes McGout.